Τώρα.
Ναι, μπήκε. Δεν θα μόλις ακούμε τις φωνές μας.
Εκεί δεν έχει κάτι, έτσι.
Όχι.
Μια για πήγαινε μέσα στο PC σου να δεις αν
Το βλέπω και από εδώ.
ακουγόμαστε.
Το μουμπάλι.
Α, ναι, σαν να ακουγόμαστε.
Ναι.
Τώρα λέει ότι είμαστε live.
Ναι, πρέπει να είμαστε. Αλλά στο main κανάλι.
Ναι. Ναι.
Τι να κάνω αυτό το link.
Ναι.
Ποιο link είναι όμως τώρα.
Το στείλω εγώ. Α, ναι. Έτοιμη.
Πώς το στέλνεις.
Εγώ πάντως μας βλέπω.
Θα το στείλω. Φτιάξτε. Κάνε minimize αυτό το πρόγραμμα.
Πού είναι, κοίτα τι κάναμε, μισό λεπτό.
Τι κάναμε.
Ας πούμε, μην ασχοληθείς.
Πρέπει απλά στο chat να βάλω το νέο link. Πού είναι.
Ναι.
Πρέπει να αρχίσουν να έρχονται.
Το είδα. Περίμενα να σου πω. Δώστε μου για να το βάλω και σαν comment.
Το έχω βάλει.
Σαν comment.
Ναι.
Ναι, το έχω βάλει. Κάνε minimize αυτό το πρόγραμμα. Κλείστο αυτό το YouTube, δεν το θέλουμε.
Και τώρα είμαστε τρεις και μάλλον είμαστε εμείς οι τρεις.
Ναι, κλείσει το δίπλα το πρώτο το YouTube, δεν το θέλουμε.
Σίγουρος είσαι ρε.
Ναι ρε. Streamάρεις από το OBS.
Μα εγώ λέω να το αφήσω.
Κλείστο ρε. Τέλος bandwidth. Κλείστο. Αυτό το άλλο.
Συνεχίζει μια χαρά.
Μια χαρά θα αρχίσει.
Απλά δεν ήρθαν από το άλλο κανάλι στο εδώ, αυτό είναι το ζήτημα.
Ναι. Θα τους τάψω.
Και στο Facebook ποστάρε το.
Ναι.
Ένα.
Το link σου πριν κακά.
Τι.
Δεν πρέπει να εμφανίστηκε ποτέ.
Ναι.
Ναι, γι' αυτό δεν ήρθε κανένας.
Όχι,
Εγώ τουλάχιστον
το σε
δεν-
κάνει θα το βρει. Δώστε μου ρε το link να το βάλω κι εγώ.
Ναι. Αυτό είναι στο Facebook. Το βλέπω εγώ.
Εγώ γιατί δεν βλέπω. Τι προσκομεί.
Όχι ρε μαλάκα, τι μου δώσες.
Τι σου έδωσα.
New link. Και έχει τη φάτσα. Έχει τη φάτσα μου το link.
Έχει τη φάτσα σου. Free watching.
Α,
Το είδαμε.
Ω. Αυτό δεν το θες πια.
πήγαινε λίγο στο προηγούμενο. Έλα να τσεκάρω κάτι. Ναι, δεν επειδή ποστάρουμε link και εγώ έγραψα σχέδιο το link, δεν το παίρνει για κάποιο λόγο, μάλλον δεν το επιτρέπει.
Τι θα κάνω τώρα.
Πρέπει να εξηγήσει ότι please go to the new string that is.
Μήπως να μπορώ εγώ να το ποστάρω σαν administrator εκεί ή τίποτα.
Εγώ πάντως και ο Θάνος που ποστάρουμε το link δεν θα είναι.
Περίμενε.
Δεν Δηλαδή βλέπω so the new link is here και ξέρεις δεν υπάρχει link. Επί της ουσίας. Μετά εγώ προσπαθώ.
Και γιατί δεν πάει? Γιατί δεν μπορώ να βάλω link?
Μπορεί να μην το επιτρέπει όπως πολλά...
Ναι, έχει κάτι spam settings αυτή η μαλακία. Και θα το βάλω αυτό.
Ναι, το Tony το πήρε γιατί είναι...
Α, γιατί είναι ο Tony. Τώρα θα σκάσουμε μύτη. Ναι, έτσι.
Ναι. Ναι, δεν άφηνε.
Βλέπεις όμως.
Ναι,
Ποιο
απλά
link
ξέρεις αρκεί.
Οκ, κάτσα να μαζευτούν μερικοί και μετά. Και να πατήσω και record όταν είναι ώρα.
Μίλα στους αναγνώστες. Έχουν μαζευτεί.
Ναι, ωραία, τέλεια.
Μιλάς.
Οκ.
16.
Εντάξει.
Cool. Okay. Hello. Hope everything is working right now, because we updated the link. We had a problem with the previous one, so hopefully I think the new one will work. So we'll start with a few things. Let's recording also the live event, so we can provide the link after. So here is Thanos with me.
Hello.
From Yeti, and Elias also from Yeti right now. And we would like to start with a few things based on Realflow and Octane. We never used Realflow before, but in one of the latest works, which has to do with chocolate and explosion and all these things, we used Realflow, and we find that it works basically on things that have to do with more stylized liquids and other things that can help us to work, like style frames and other stuff. We're not heavy, or let's say hardcore simulation users, but at least for artistic things and things that can help us a lot, Realflow has provided us a few things that we want to share with you from our recent experience. So this is, we can show you the full commercial, but this is the first, let me go here. So this is one of the explosions that we have done using Realflow.
Nea KitKat Ruby.
And that again. So that was the first explosion that gave us some hopes that Realflow can work in our workflow, and then we had a lot of tests doing. That was another, okay, sorry. Yeah, that was another test that we did with King Kong running and all these really nice fluids, and always working with Octane and Cinema 4D. So we're going to, make some live demonstrations and some making of a few things and scenes that we already have set up. So let's open Cinema 4D. We are using R19 right now, and we'll upgrade soon to the new version of 20. So feel free to, as we are demonstrating here with Thanos, feel free to ask anything and Elias can provide to us your questions. Okay, so okay, one moment. Okay, yeah, here we are. Let me delete these lights and cameras. So here we are in Cinema 4D. I don't know, this is our favorite software, at least for the last 3 or 4 years. So very simple setups, just giving you a brief for Realflow right here, and then we will give you some more detailed with rendered examples or anything else. So here we start basically, here's the plugin that you can find in Realflow. We start with a simple scene, okay? And I'm going here, very basic. I'm not, as I said before, a hardcore 3D user, and I found that Realflow helps me a lot with creating stuff from style frames even to more advanced things, okay? So I will start with the scene, and I'm going here to display, and I'm going to remove the display icon so it doesn't bother me, okay? So we have here, beyond the basic and the code, the solver that we will see later, about substeps and all these things that will help us to make our simulations more defined and with more detailed or advanced settings. Okay, so I'm closing that for the moment. Then we have the cache, which is very helpful. We will see that after also. And here we have the display icon and the info, which is always very useful because you have the amount of the particles that you have. Okay, really simple tabs here for the scene. Then we have the messer, we will see how it works. Then we have the emitter, fluids, and demons. Okay, these are the nodes that we're going to add. Okay, so here in the scene, I'm going again to the plugin. Here we have the emitters, and here are the demons that will help us. Imagine the demons are something like the MoGraph effectors. We're not going to discuss about deformers, and here we have everything about fluid messer and all these things. Okay, so let's start with an emitter circle here. I'm going also to add something like a sphere here as an example, and I'm going to press the play button. Okay, so simple here. The emitter is, if you go here right now, we have an emitter that has been created under the basic emitter tab. So we have the emitter type, and right now is circle. As you will see, we have a lot of possible options like a sphere. I'm going to press. You have a different emission here. So we have anything from let's say a cylinder, another emission here that goes like that. And I'm going to stay with the let's say right now with a circle, okay? And from here, the object, I can change the width and the depth of the circle, okay? But let's stay in 100 right now, okay? I will try to be. And here in the mission we have the circle and we have the speed. So let's go. Speed is something like way more faster. And I can turn down the speed, so there's no speed at the moment, and I can turn up the volume, okay? And right now, because there is no speed, I'm going to go very closely to the one. I'm going to, so as there's no speed, there is nothing happening. If I start to increase speed, we have that slowly. And if I turn off speed and turn on volume, we're going to have that volume of the let's say of the Realflow. And then what I can do here, so vertical random and horizontal random, we're going to see them after. So let's say, let's go here. Right now that there's no speed and we have just a volume, I'm going here to Realflow. I'm going to take the demons and place them here, so we have them all the time. And I'm going to add a gravity, okay? So we see that it just fall down, okay? So let's go to the emitter again. And if I change here the speed, now we have the gravity plus the speed, okay? But let's stay with the volume, okay? So the bigger the volume is, we have a bigger part, let's say, from particles, okay? And let's go right now to the display. So something else here is if you go to the fluid, because sometimes it's a little bit difficult to see the particles. So if you go to the fluid, and change the display here from 2, which is the original, to 4, you're able to see more obvious. The particles are more obvious right now. Okay, we will go again to the fluid, but let's stay to the emitter right now. So we have a volume. Let's say, you see how I'm increase the volume of the Realflow. Okay, so let's say we want something like yeah, let's say about 50 here. Okay, and I want that part to have a collision with the sphere. You know, simple things, simple MoGraph things. Okay, I'm going to sphere, Realflow, collider, and I will place also the volume here. Okay, so let's with that one, let's place start. Okay, so it's very easy. We have the first collision happening. Okay, and we will see the tabs after. Okay, so here we have the collider with the properties, wet map, and display. Okay, so for properties, let's go to collision distance. We can play with that one. We can play with friction. It's like the dynamics in Cinema 4D. And let's see how it. Okay, and now you see the friction. Let's increase the friction here. Yeah, we see a lot of them staying on the sphere. Okay, and then we have the fluid. Okay, so let's I will let Thanos tell you a few things also about the fluid. Okay.
Yeah, so Realflow has a few solvers, let's say. The fluid PBD is the basic solver. It's like, I think, Flip in Houdini or other stuff, I'm not sure about it. But it's the simplest and the fastest solver. It has the dump, place the dump.
Yep.
The dump is like the most basic, it's like very inaccurate, it's just for test purposes. It's like some dust or of some sort. It has the liquid SHP, which is the most realistic fluid. It's slower, but it will give you much better detail in if you're doing water or juices or whatever. It also has the granular, which is for sand, for snow and stuff.
Yeah.
If you see it reacts a bit different. It's like small grains of sand. And it has also a viscous,
Yeah.
which is like for syrup. You see, it's like a shit, but okay.
Yeah, it's almost like shit. Yeah. And let's
And
change the friction. Yeah, it stays there.
and depending on what type of simulation you need to do, these are the types. It has also viscoelastic, which is a bit like if you wanna do like beef or
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
Yeah, it's cool.
we haven't used it that much, you see, as it's chunking around a bit.
And yes, you can play here with the viscous. If we lower down the viscosity here, you will see a much different reaction from the fluid, because it starts, yeah, it stays here, but then it starts going down like melting. Okay, this is the actual behavior that it has when you're trying to play. So basically here, beyond the emitter that we saw, which is very straightforward, okay, volume, speed, and vertical random and horizontal random, we have here the fluid. Okay, and the fluid here, it has the pressure, it has the tensile strength, but mainly you will see here playing with the viscosity if we have the viscous, and cohesion here, and also damping. Okay, so I would say that especially these are the three main factors that you will have to play with. Okay, and let's go and change again. Okay, so let's see how it reacts here. Okay, and if I right now go back to emitter and have a speed, we have something like that. Okay, let me go here. Okay, we have something like that, and of course the sphere is, you know, it's multi. It has reaction as you're moving the sphere. Okay, and something else that you can do beyond gravity is that you can add, let's say, another daemon from here, like noise field. Okay, and you can start having playing with the strength here. Okay, so you see when I place the noise, it starts to reacting like that from the first moment that emits the particles, okay? So if I remove the sphere right now, and we have the strength of the noise here, and I will grab the emitter, you can see how you can play with the noise effector. And another one, it's also the drag effector. So the drag effector is trying, I'm going to give up like, I don't know, 1, okay. So the drag effector maybe 2, so it's a little bit more obvious. So you see what happens with the drag effector, it doesn't let them fall down with their speed, but it gives you a really nice, you know, noise in combination with the noise, and you can play and do a lot of stuff here, okay, which is pretty cool. I don't know if we can place, I don't know, like a surface extension or Cedar right now or not. Okay, okay. So basically you can do that with, let's go again to the emitter, and let me press stop and go again to the sphere and see how it reacts here, which is also cool, okay? So you can do the same thing. It's very basic and simple things. And if I remove noise field here, you will see what happens. No, it's just falling down. And because I'm still having the collider, it's still showing the collision with the sphere. And I'm going drag again. I'm removing drag, so it feels like a waterfall, and noise fields again. It's really cool. Okay. So is there any kind of question or something else that would like before we move to the examples?
Yeah, there's only one that says like how you use that situations on real.
Yeah, we're gonna show some actual examples now. Also, one thing I wanna point out is let me make this here. Okay, sorry. Let's make it again a circle. Realflow has a great advantage over, let's say, X particles, because of course you can do similar stuff with X particles, okay? But it has the great advantage that you can use your GPU, which makes the simulations much faster and much more intuitive to play with. And this is actually the factor that led us start using Realflow. We generally try to get advantage of modern GPUs, as in Turbulence FD.
Yeah.
Because we are not very technical artists, we like to see fast some result for style framing. I mean, we're not gonna make the perfect liquid or anything. So we wanna see as much feedback as possible, and that's also the main reason we are using Octane.
Okay, so let's start with the examples.
Yeah, I think.
Okay, so close all. So the first one that we're going to see is called Cherry Choco from here, and this is the result. Okay, no, some cherries with the chocolate and render in Octane, using Octane materials, and all the lights that we're going to see. Also the setup and how the liquid reacts. So basically we have a startup scene, and then we have the end scene, so we can see how that works. Okay, so I will open the Cherry Choco start. Okay, and as you see here, we have our basic model. Okay, which is a cherry ball, connected. So it's just that ball here with a plane and disc. There's nothing else. So let me go to here. Okay. So, and to the cherry ball we have attached the collider and the volume, as we have discussed before. Okay, and sometimes it's very crucial when you have the collider and the volume to have also the enable collision here, and go always like something like a 0.1. okay, play with the friction. And something else is that with display here, hi, okay, one moment. So collision geometry here.
Go to last frame and then to front. Wait. We braid doesn't.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, you see here is like you can see how detailed is your collision detection of things, because this volume tag has put it on low, let's say.
Okay.
example,
Yeah.
and do again the reset thing. You see, for example, Realflow from starters, when you add the collider tag, it detects your geometry like this. But the higher you go, you have more detail in your collision, but it becomes a bit heavier to calculate, as it's normal as anything that has to do with collisions. So supposedly you have two tags: the collider tag to provide you collisions, and the volume tag to provide the quality of the collisions, or if an object is solid inside or solid outside.
Yeah. So let's say stay medium high.
Let's say
I'm gonna untick the show collision geometry. So because sometimes it gives you a lot of problems. And everything here right now with the collider and the volume tag, everything that you will see here. So let's see the setup here. Okay, we have the disk here, which is also has a collider tag, just in case something else will go outside of the ball. So we have also a disk with another collide tag here. Okay, so basically what we have an emitter here, circle, as you see that here, and it has an animation. Okay, so it goes from that point to that point here. Okay, and let's go to the other emission. So volume 0. So because we have speed, because we want all the time to emit particles. We have a speed like 300, and that's it. You know, very simple setup in the emission. There's nothing else. And let's go to the fluids. Okay, the fluids is viscous because we want something like a chocolate. Okay, we have the viscosity here around 0.01. The cohesion is 0 and the damping is 0.3. Okay, very simple. As we discussed before, these are the main three parameters here. Okay, and this is it. And then we have gravity. Okay, so we have the fluid falling down even though we have the speed. So let us play that one here. Okay, very simple setup. Okay.
As you see, it's pretty fast. It's pretty fast, and you can, of course, it's not the final simulation.
Yeah, that's the first setup.
But it's a first setup, so you can see quickly a result of a viscous fluid, which I find it really great.
Yeah.
Because we want to do a quick style frame and we want to pour something on something else. We don't want let's say a very accurate solving of that. This doesn't mean that you can't do accurate stuff with Realflow inside Cinema 4D. It's just we are not. That's not our main purpose, because we are not doing VFX. We try to use it for the King Kong example you saw in the beginning. We try to do more, I don't know, artistic stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we are artists.
Yeah. There's any question?
No.
Is there any question? So something else it's very important is the resolution here. The resolution here, it's like the amount of the particles. So let's say here we have 8,000 particles. Okay. So if let's decrease that around 10. Okay. So another factor from these three are also the resolution, which is the amount of particles. So we are having the count here very small, like it's going to go like, I don't know, maximum 2000. Okay, so that one is just for purposes. And let's go again to the display here, maybe 4 again, so we can see them more like bigger. So let's go again to the fluid, and the resolution is 10. So for viewing purposes, you can see that with 10. And let's go to something 100. Okay, hope it will play decent. Yeah, and right now with 100, you see why this is important, because you have to see the amount of particles. Okay, it's like 9,000 right now. And let's see if we can push that a little bit more. I don't know, like 200.
Yeah, for
okay. So
the resolution also, if you see Realflow starts with a resolution of 2, but depending on the scene scale, the resolution can vary. If you have a small scene, it can be bigger, etc. you'll find that out. The important thing to look out here is the number of particles, which you see now is about 30,000.
Yeah.
And for a production shot, you need around, I don't know, to 100,000.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that, 200,000. Sometimes it can go up to 1 million, 1.5 million. So, and all you see here, it's like, it's real time, it's not cast or anything. If, let's say, let me try something. Ooh.
Yeah, it's real cool how it reacts.
Oops.
Yeah, yeah. Until
I knew I shouldn't do that.
Yeah, it's cool.
Okay, so let's try to push it a bit more for our. Let's double the amount.
Oh, okay, brave.
I think
Brave enough.
we are good.
Yeah, it's cool.
And as you see, we still get pretty fast.
Yeah, results and reacting very.
Very cool.
Yeah, at least it's cool. You can see the result. Okay, so very simple setup. You see just a position with the emitter, fluid is viscous, and all these 3 parameters, and the resolution. And yeah, this is it. And the gravity from the demons. You don't need anything else. Just make something like a really nice food shot or something like that. And let's open the final scene so we can see more stuff about yeah. So we will open the end scene from that one, okay? And here is the cherry choco, and here's the end, okay? So, yep.
The difference here is this is cast. This is, as you see, around 200,000 particles.
Yeah.
The difference actually is the amount of particles, and something we haven't talked in detail because, sorry, we haven't done this before, so we skip parts. We might drag you off a bit, but okay. If you go to scene, there is the amount of sub-steps.
Yeah, we talked at the start that it needs to readjust them in order to.
For example, for a viscous fluid, the amount of sub-steps and the iterations have to be from a certain level and up. It doesn't work if you have 2 and 2 sub-steps or 5 iterations. It needs more. So if you have the auto parameters enabled, when you change fluid types, it makes an initial number for you, so you have a starting point.
Yeah, and it's always what Thanos said, the resolution here with the fluid and the scene solver, these 4 parameters, they're very connected because these are the ones that will give you the final result, okay? And something that we haven't discussed again, so you have the emitter, the fluid, and the gravity again. So then you go here to Realflow and you add the messer, which is the most difficult thing, we believe, because yeah, everything here looks cool, cool particles, a dense mess, but here with the mess, if you go here with the mess, is where things are starting to getting a little bit more complicated, okay? So I just opened the mess, so I will play that so you can see the mess here. Cool.
The mess, I think it's the
trickiest part. That's the trickiest part.
The trickiest part. It's a balance of how to have the proper amount of particles, not flickering seams, as you see here on that cherry part.
Yeah, it stays here.
That it's a bit weird, but overall, it's some trial and error. I think you can manage something out of it. You can smooth the messer, you can thin it a bit, you can relax it. It has all those properties built in inside, as you see there.
Yeah.
So
radius, it's the amount of the
polygons.
The amount of the polygons. Smooth has to do with relaxing the whole mess, so it feels it's more smooth. And thinning, it's about thinning mainly all this stuff, the edges and the whole mess. Okay. And here you have the resolution, which from medium and medium to high and high. These are your main choices when you want to do something which is very detailed. Okay. So messer is something that will give you a lot of headache and troubles, but it's the one that will give you all the rewards about a cool fluid. Okay. And here, let's talk about the lighting and Octane here. Is that cool?
Yeah, for sure.
This is nothing complicated, but let's take a look here, okay? So we can discuss a few things about, okay? So I will discuss about the lighting, a few things, and then Thanos can tell you also a few things about the material, about the cherries here, okay? So nothing too complicated here. We just have an Octane sky with our favorite HDRI link here, and we have a tag with an image texture. There is no, is here, right? Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So we just placing an Octane sky with an image texture tag. We are linking to the HDRI. Let's go from here, Pro Studios Metal, okay? And we are on the fly changing some HDRIs that we really like, okay? So let's go here again, and this is the number, so let's say number 13, okay? Let's change some HDRIs on the fly, which is pretty cool. I will love that, plugin from Grayscale and Gorilla. It's really nice. So we thought that number 13 was the most coolest, okay? So there is nothing else, just an HDRI. And because we wanted to give some more reflections at that part here, what we did is just, let me go out of the camera. Okay, cool. So let's go. And here we have an Octane light. Okay, let's go. Okay, cool. And let me remove that also. Okay. So an Octane light, let me go closer. Cool. Sorry for that. Okay. So you see what the Octane light turns off and on. Works like, I don't know, a fill light to that side of the cherries, okay? And because we want it on the top of the chocolate to add also some reflections, we're just creating a plane. Placing the plane over, you see, over the cherries. And let me turn that on. And go again from the camera. So I will compare that to see what we get with just placing a plane over, or it's like, I don't know, a deflector. So compare.
Stop.
Yep. And let me turn off. Oops. No? Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, and you see, we're getting all these cool reflections on the top of the chocolate here, which is really cool. This is without the plane on the top, and this is with a plane on the top, which gives us some really cool, details on the top of the chocolate, so it feels more, I don't know, yummy and delicious and all these things. So let me go and stop that, okay? And just an HDRI and Octane light and a plane like something like reflector on the top of the cherries, okay? And a few things about the cherries and the chocolate. Bowl is just a basic, plastic here. But about the chocolate material and cherries mixed material, it's a little bit more, let's say, not complicated, but it has its own theory. Thanos can tell you a few words here.
Yeah, so of course the shader is not ready by all means, but a basic setup I always tend to do when I do foods, for example, is mixing a subsurface material, which you will see right here. So these are the cherries that get some light from the light passing. It's a diffuse material which has a transmission and a diffuse color. The brighter the transmission, the more the cherries get the amount of color passing through. Okay. And I tend to mix that with the actual, let's say, glossy material that the cherry can have. Of course, we didn't even fine tune the roughness or anything. It's just very. So if you see, just mixing a bit of two materials. I don't know if it's visible on your screens, but it's a subtle difference on how light can travel inside those cherries. And if you take the time to make a more detailed transmission map, you can have the areas of the light entering the object vary, so it can be a lot more realistic. So that's it, just playing with the amount. Question?
One question is, what's the GPU that we're using? And the second one is, Thanos, have you tried the universal material, like the native ones from Cinema 4D?
No, we haven't tried the universal because we don't have it yet. The version is 3.83 and I think it's later.
Yeah.
It's on 4.
I think so.
Sure. We haven't upgraded, we are a bit hesitant to upgrade Octane because a lot of strange thing happens. And we are using, what are we using? Oh yeah, we're using two 1070 Ti, and at the moment we are taking also another 3 of those cards from our slave machine, and that's about, for production we also have the same. We don't have a big farm with 180 Ti's and stuff.
Yeah.
If no more questions, I think we can move on from this.
Yeah, the chocolate also.
The chocolate.
It's very simple, but maybe
nothing. I think the chocolate.
It's very straightforward.
It's a different approach. It's a glossy material with some subsurface scattering. So here you can control the color of the scattering.
Πήγαινε ένα tab πίσω για να φάνει. Πήγαινε ένα tab πίσω scattering.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the scattering medium inside the medium, and 2 RGB spectrums in the absorption and scattering, with almost the same values here, because pretty close to the chocolate, coloring, and playing with the density. Okay, volume step length doesn't matter here, but density and the phase, it's pretty important. You see right now it's more something like a dark chocolate. Okay, it depends on it's like our directing the chocolate color and shading here. Okay, but as you see, it's just on a glossy material with the scattering medium. And I believe it depends more on the lighting and the whole setup of your scene. Okay.
Plus, if you see, we like Octane because I just play real time. I don't exactly know what I'm doing, to be honest. I just move it. I have fast interaction. I play with colors. I make it reddish. I make it shittier. It's very easy to control subsurface scattering materials in Octane, I think, with pretty nothing.
Yeah,
yes?
almost nothing. Yeah.
And also they're asking about what is the Octane settings that you have.
Cool. It's
the Octane settings we have.
I think it's very simple again. Let's go here.
Oh, that's it.
Almost 300 samples.
Yeah,
nothing.
We're very good. Yeah. Well, sometimes what we do in Octane settings, these are pretty standard. Yeah. You clamp a bit the caustic blur and the GI clamp so you don't have fireflies. In most scenes you can go like this and you can go even like this. It's not a big deal. What we do sometimes, if we have an open type of fluid, if you increase the diffuse and the specular depth to a higher number, like I don't know, 50.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. And the diffuse doesn't matter much.
Yeah, but let's stay on that one.
If you see, if we get our, let's say, if we had kind of a milk of some sort, sorry, this is back. Now the bounces actually play a good part here. Let me show you this moment. So let's compare those two. Restore render buffer. Go to settings and make it, let's say, 8 and 8.
Yeah, let's go into that.
I don't know if it's visible right now, but the fluid it's not very visible actually.
Yeah, it is, but I think with how
yeah, maybe
small
with
it is,
higher fluid or whatever. In any case, the only thing we tend to change is the number of bounces. If you have open light fluids, you get much more light travel through the medium. So I think we can move on from this.
Yeah, let's go to another one which has to do again with cherries and chocolate, but it's a little bit different and it works with MoGraph dynamics. I think it's the glass. Yeah, cherry chocolate glass. Yeah, start.
Oh, let me show.
Okay, so this is the video. Okay. Now a different example that can be applied in production or something like a food shot. Okay, some cherries with more dynamics fall into the glass and viscous liquid doing some really nice, you know, here reactions and dynamics with let's say something like a chocolate here in a glass. Okay, so let's start the question.
No, it's okay.
Okay, cool. So here what we have, let's see that before I place the play button. Okay, here we have an emitter. Okay, it's circle. We have a small speed like 2 and we have 32. As we discussed before, 32 it gives us that specific height of the volume. Okay, if it would be much higher the volume, it would be you see. So I want from that emission to fall that amount of you know, particles and height. Okay, and I leave the speed like 2% right now. Okay, 2 centimeters. Sorry. And there's nothing else about the emitter. This is, you know, straightforward, and the width. And then we are going to fluid. Okay, the fluid is viscous because you will see what the result is going to be. Viscosity 0.08, cohesion 0, and damping 0.3. Okay, and we have a resolution of 400 particles. Okay, and this is it. Regarding the fluid, and we have the glass, which is our geometry, and in the glass we have the volume, okay, and we have the collider. Okay, collision right now is in 1, friction almost nothing, and bounce to 0.25. Okay, yeah, that's it. Very simple. And I'll play the button, and you will see how it reacts. We just have that amount of fluid falling into the glass, okay, and have something like a really cool, you know, dynamic fall. So something else right now, we see how it starts, okay, but we don't want our scene to start like that. You just saw the video. We have the fluid inside the glass, okay. So what we can do when we play, we will stop the timeline at the frame that we really like. Okay, so let me play that a little bit more, so the fluid is getting you know,
it settles down.
Yeah, it's more calm, let's say. So yeah, something like about 40 frames. Okay, it's pretty critical. Okay, so we're going to fluid. Okay, and here that we have the resolution and everything else, we have that one. I'm pretty sure a lot of you are familiar with the initial state in cloth, and we have to do create initial state, okay, and then use initial state, okay, and I will go to the start, and you see it starts in that state that we really like, okay, from the first point, okay, and yeah, I think the first liquid is settled, and then we have these you know, cherries here, okay. Okay, so we have these cherries. So in these cherries we just place them in a height, with a different height, okay. And what we did is two things. We applied the collider tags, okay. I will enable a collision. But beyond the collision that these cherries have to do with the fluid, we also placed the dynamics bodies from Cinema 4D, okay? So just on dynamics here, very simple, straightforward. And in the glass, we have another dynamic tag with dynamics off, okay, and collision shape placed to static mesh, okay. So I will open the collisions here, enable them, and I will play button so you can see. Hope it's going to, yeah, a little bit slowly, but you will be able to see what would happen. So the cherries are falling down, and at the moment they are falling down, you see all these really nice collisions that they are doing with the fluid, okay. So beside the collision that the cherries have with the glass, they also have some really cool collisions with the fluid, okay. We'll see the result, okay. So, and the only demon that we have here is again the gravity, okay. We have drag and cedar, but we didn't, enable them here, okay. So basically, it's just that one, okay. Very simple, okay. Just a fall here, nothing else, okay. Collision from Realflow, all these dynamic tags, and this is it. Very simple. And I will open the next scene so you will see how they react in the end, okay. So final, so here let me open again. So here's the final scene with the lights and everything else. I will remove the messer, yep, and I will take on the fluid. So give me one moment to see if my GPU is on. Yeah. Yep. And let's close the messer from the X. And now it's going to play.
This is a cast simulation.
Yeah. Let me
go. A bigger amount of particles, a bigger amount of substeps.
Yeah. Let me go a little bit closer so it's a little bit more obvious what's happening. Let's see that from an angle and go to fluid. So here we have a resolution from 4000, which is like...
Yeah, as I said, it's independent. I mean, sometimes with 2 you can get a high amount of particles, sometimes if your object is big. If your objects are small, you have to raise the resolution. And here I have to add that, at least in my experiments in Tony's, scene scale is not very relevant in Realflow. I mean, you don't have to make a glass 10 centimeters or something. Sometimes it can be 3 meters and everything works good, which I'm not sure why, because we are used when we do dynamics to have proper scaling of things. But okay, if that suits your needs,
and
go ahead.
As we discussed again, you see the solver, it's like 16, 24, and 10. And as you remember, the default values are 4, 4, 10, and 10, okay? So we are also increasing the solver in order to get more detailed and more accurate simulation. And let's see the messer right now, okay? The messer is again medium high, 2 radius, 5 smooth, and 0.5, okay? I will open the messer so we can see that how it works, okay? So, and let me go off with the fluid. Okay, so let's see how it works with the messer. Yep.
Yeah, you see, it's not perfect.
Yeah, it's not,
but viscous fluids are pretty difficult to have a very, very smooth and even surface. You struggle a lot between the amount of particles and the amount of smoothing, so you don't lose detail. I think, as we said before, the trickiest part is to mesh your fluid properly rather than simulating it with accuracy. You see those blobs, for example, right there are not ideal. But okay, for our purposes and the tests we do, we can live with that.
Yeah, you see what happens here. It's again, the lighting, and especially that one. Later you will see some more Octane, but here the materials are simply straightforward with the chocolate, and again just a simple glass, and again the same material with the cherries. Okay, so let me go to another moment here with the liquid, or it's pretty cool. When it's cast, it gives you some freedom to move the cursor and the timeline here, which is pretty cool. Okay. So this is something that you can work more, or let's do a style frame. Let me go to our camera here again. Yeah, it's more accurate here. So it's working really cool. I don't think I see the cherries.
Yeah, they are not cast.
Yeah, okay, they're not cast.
Imagine we haven't even casted any of
Yeah.
this.
Yeah,
It's
cool.
like everything is on the fly.
Yeah.
Except the cast simulation of Realflow in engines. And as you see, it's pretty fast and it hasn't crashed yet.
Yeah. Yeah, it hasn't crashed. So let's go to another examples. We have a few more. Let me close them all until now. Yeah, the other one is really interesting. It's something different, okay? We really like that. So the other one is different. It's called Spider. We really like that. So yeah, this is a granular, okay? We really love that testing and R&D with the Spider. It's pretty cool, and we will show you how you can do something like that. And feel free to ask anything you want. Okay. Okay, let's go to the Spider start here. Okay. Yeah. So mainly about the Spider, we didn't animate the Spider. We're not such good character animators, or I don't know, bug or animal animators. So this is a really cool animation we found online, and you see here this is just an Olympic exported from Cinema 4D or 3D Max, I can't remember right now. So this is a cast animation about the Spider, okay? And let's go again to see the setup, and then we will talk about everything else, okay? So the Spider, straightforward, the collider tag with collision distance 1, and the friction right now it's a little bit higher, 0.4, and bounce it's the default number, okay? And the volume is again at the medium, okay? So right now what we have the gravity again, and we have the K volume, okay? And K volume is also very important because it's like killing all the particles that it's outside of this area, okay? Which is pretty important, okay? So just a K volume, a box here matching the size of the plane, and just a gravity, okay? And let's go to fluid, okay? As we discussed in the start, the granular, okay? And static friction, compactation, and cohesion, okay? I think these three, beyond the resolution we have discussed in granular, these three are the most basics, okay? And compactation is how much it makes the parts feeling compact, okay, together.
Like snow. If you have snow, you have to increase compactation and cohesion or something like it. So it's not like one grain of sand, but it's more like staying together some chunks, as if you see in the video. This is playing live now. As you see, because the Alembic mesh is a bit more complex, it delays. So you can't have great real-time interaction, but once you catch it, you can see it much better. I mean, sometimes with Realflow you work completely real-time for look and feel, and others you have to catch in order to see better what are you doing. So the process here, we removed Spider as a collision object. We let some sand on the ground, and we use the initial state of the sand on the ground, and then we enabled again the collisions on the Spider, and she started doing all those crazy things in the GIF. What it's different here in this solver than the other is how we managed to render this small.
I think this is very.
The small stuff, because you don't use a mesher for this case. So if we open the next scene,
it's very critical. So I think it's something else from the start scene. Just the animation, the collider tag, and the K volume, as I told, the fluid, granular, and emitter. Something important about the speed here also.
We animated the speed up to a point, and after that point we stopped, so it drops some chunks, like 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and that's it. If you have a speed 0, your emitter stops emitting, as it's a bit obvious.
Yeah, and the volume, it's 0, so this is why you see just a slice of particles here. There's no volume, okay? Just a slice falling, okay, into the Spider. And let's open the other one, which is, as Thanos told, it's really cool, and about the materials, and Yeah, this is the spider final. Okay, so let's see the fluid right now. It's over 1,000 here. Okay, we have again the same numbers as before, and it's pretty interesting here again. The scene, the amount of numbers here in solver. Okay, which, as we discussed before, they are very critical in combination with the fluid, okay, and the resolution, okay. But let me play and see, yeah, how cool is that, you know? Really nice, you know. We love that, and you will see how right now that we have a huge amount of particles, you can see the what we discussed before as cohesion and compactation here in these small parts. See how they are connected together. It feels like the compactation here and the cohesion, they are very important. Okay, these are the ones beside the material and shading. These are the ones that will give you the impression of sand and everything else.
Wet sand. Mostly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sticks together, or snow, for that matter.
Yeah, and and let's Thanos will tell you right now about the fluid and how we render the fluid, and we open then the Octane.
Let's go to
Έχω βγάλει την κάμερα.
interesting frame. Let's see
Yeah,
here.
that's cool. Yeah, almost 100% symmetric.
Yeah, so if we try and render right now,
Let's see. Okay.
Okay.
Still the cherry.
You see nothing. Why you see nothing? You only see those 3 initial pieces of geometry that we made. When you have this type of solver, the granular, as I said, you don't use the mesher. All you have to do is you take some fractures, some pieces that represent. Let me show you a bit better here. Where's that? Sorry, I don't use Tony's computer a lot. I have my own shortcuts. The fuck is this? Hey.
Yeah. Someone is asking about the while you're doing the spider. Someone is asking about the sky idents.
Yeah, what does
how much time it took us to complete them? Like 1 month.
1 month.
Yeah. 1
But
month
with
from
constant changes.
Yeah. It was hard enough about the sky idents. For those of you that are not aware of, it's one of our latest works, like last month, about the Greek TV channel here. So yeah, 1 month about the whole projection.
So these are the parts of the geometry that we used to replace the particles in our previous scene. Okay, what you do here is you add them as children to the fluid. Okay, and all you do, you go to the particles tab of the fluid, and you check the render only button. Let me refresh.
Yeah.
And voila.
Yeah. Looks cool.
So whatever, depending on how many different types of stone you have, they appear in the render. And I think this is a case to discuss about what we were saying before about the number of bounces.
Yeah, it's almost 24. It's
not much, but I think here you will see the difference. Let's say 6.
Yeah.
You see, because these particles have subsurface inside, the more you increase the amount of bounces, because they are light in terms of color, the better quality you will see in the scattering. Even if you go up from, it's not very visible right now, but even if you go up from 20 bounces to 50 or 60, you will start seeing differences when you have light colored particles. So
yeah, and again the lighting is just an Octane sky as we discussed before. This is just an Octane sky. I think there's no light. Yeah, there's no light, even not reflectors or anything else. Yeah, it's just a simple HDRI, and what makes the result here, interesting in terms of texturing is the randomization of the particles here and the materials, which is again very straightforward, as you see here. Just an Octane glossy material with a little bit of roughness, just a bit of roughness here, and fake shadow zone. These are the two simple materials again. Octane glossy with roughness and fake shadows, nothing else, okay? But just because the samples here, the depth, there are a high number and materials, and basically it's a matter of the Realflow simulation here. It looks really cool, and it gives you the impression of the dust, okay? Which is again
sand or sugar.
Yeah, it's kind of like a I don't know, brown.
We just like it.
Brown sugar. Yeah, that's really cool. Okay. Is there any question about the granular?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, it looks cool. Even I like the hardware more than the render. It feels more graphical. It has more graphic design.
I have one question about this.
Which one?
If you go to the fluid and check render only, you lose them from the live viewer, but if you render on the picture viewer, you see everything. But of course, at a certain point you have to do that, so you can make your
refresh.
So you can make your loop dev. It's not always possible. For example, if you have 2 million particles, it's gonna be a bit tough for your viewport. But you find a spot that you have a few amount of particles, you do your shading, then you go, you check render only, and so you can work, and you have this on your picture viewer.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think that's about it.
Yeah, let's open the one about the head and move on to the other one with the fluids. And this is the simplest one, but just to give you an idea about some more demons. Oh, sorry. Come on. Okay. So this is just a generic head bust. I don't know. Is this from Cinema 4D?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's from Cinema 4D library. Okay, just a generic head. Straightforward again. An emitter here with circle. Volume. You see it's the height, so it's about 236, and the speed is about 0. So I will press the button, and it will fall. Okay. Oh, there's a cast.
Yeah, of course it's cast.
Yeah. No, I don't think we have.
Yeah,
it's cool. Yeah.
It was going very well.
Because let me. I don't know. Let's see if it's going to work without a cast. It's
open the GPU.
Yeah, let's open it.
Enable it actually, because open it's Greeklish.
Yeah.
Open the GPU.
Yeah,
it's not a problem.
Yeah, it's going to work. Okay, cool. Yeah, it works. So just gravity here, the emitter with circle and volume, nothing else, and the fluid is PBD here. Almost with a resolution of 8. Almost like these are the default. Okay, so it falls into the head with a collider. Of course, again, I'm going a little bit closer. Okay, and here I'm going to put on the drag demon here. Okay. And you will see with the drag demon, it makes them have more stay on the surface. Okay, give them more. I don't know.
They stick together.
Yeah.
Particles tend to stick together. The forces are a bit more balanced. I think drag is essential for every simulation, even if it's very tiny. It can affect the stability of the simulation in a good way.
So let's go here and we'll discuss with Thanos here. These are the problems that maybe we want to direct them and make them feel a little bit more cooler as they fall, okay? Especially these parts where they are dividing, okay? So I'm opening the seater, okay? And I will play and Thanos will tell you about the sitter right now as it falls.
Well, the sitter is a heavy demon. For those who are relevant with Realflow standalone, it's exactly the same. And what it does, it's generating new particles that feed the gaps. As you see, before it was empty here, and now it has a much bigger amount of particles.
Yeah.
But it's one of the slowest demons you can have, along with surface tension inside the Realflow. But as you see here, how much more compact the water is, and how you can do like nice liquid explosions of fruits or chocolate explosions or stuff like that. All you need to use, it's like the sitter to balance out the sitter and the surface tension. The surface tension is those tendrils that the fluid tends to make, and that they also tend to make small amounts. It's responsible for small drops of water as well. As you see this line shaped here. It's not a great simulation here, technically great simulation, but I think you can get the idea. The water looks a bit more stiffer, with a bit more volume and stuff. But as we said, we're not here to make perfect.
Yeah, it's just about how it works. It could be a really cool style frame, especially that one with the water and the head. Okay, it's almost like water here. It's pretty scary and creepy at the same time, but it would work. Okay. So yeah, just I don't know. For me, from my side, that would be if I had a statue head and with a really nice lighting and with a messer, then it would be a really cool, I don't know, creepy or scary thriller-wise style frame. Okay, so let's go to more stuff. Yep, and desktop here from the Thanos folder from Thanos. Which one would you like to?
Let's start
with the crown.
Let's start.
I think it's the favorite one.
With the crown.
Yeah, that's the one.
What you asked many times is to make water splash, to make some detailed splashes of water.
Yeah, do you want to provide the rendered one before we start?
For sure. Where is that?
It's in your folder, I guess. Yeah. So this is the final result. It's going to loop, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. So in order to make those splashes that look like this, Realflow has its own a specific daemon for that. It's called the crown daemon. That does exactly what it says. It makes a crown splash. Because the impact of these balls on a simulation like this is very minor, unless the ball is really heavy and it comes with really great speed, and you can see that with these demons. So what we have here, I think. Let me check the scene. Okay. Oops. Let me remember. Oh, sure. I disable the collision on the balls. I drop this on the ground, so I have an initial state of things. Sorry, let me close all this. I also have a K volume in the scene in order to kill any stray particles that appear. I have a street that collides. I have the balls that collide. Let me show you. Have this as a collision as well. Okay, so what I do, I have a little bit of noise. So as the sphere drops, you see it's distorting a bit. So as it drops, I'm closing the noise. I can animate that. So I have this initial state of how's that in English?
Which one?
La cuva.
Oh, fuck, I don't know. I don't know.
Road bump.
Road bump.
Yeah?
Or
maybe.
I don't know. Well, and I don't know why it's not working right now. Of course, nothing could work.
And someone, as you are, working the scene, someone is asking about the drag and the values and how much you should change the drag. And the truth is, you should be very careful with the values, because there are some parameters that you just have to justify them, like 0.01 and some others that you have to go maximum like 10, 100 or 200, okay? But basically about drag, you can go from 0 to maximum, I don't know, 2 or 3. These are, I think, from our R&D and research, these are from 0.1 over maximum to 2, it works. This, I think this is the area and the range that drag is working. So it's not like 10 or 20 or minus, I don't know, 0. So from 0.1 until 2, it's some ideal range of values that you can play. But it depends on the daemon, and it depends our noise. Let's say noise field needs higher values.
Yeah, it depends on the type of fluid also. Some fluids need higher drag, some others need less, but generally values of 0.1 to 0.3 are a decent start. Anyway, so Realflow is bugging here. Of course, we're gonna have that at some point.
Yeah.
It doesn't let me create an initial state right now, which I don't know why. In any case, once you make an initial state, you see those stuff here, the crown demons. The crown demons are responsible for the shape of the liquid that will rise up, so you can just take it and make your own shape. You see?
Yeah, it's just like masks in After Effects.
Which they have nothing to do with the collision of the object. That's important. I mean, you go to the crown and you refine a creation time. You say at frame 7, I want this to. Of course, now I don't have an initial state to show you, but you see here.
Yeah, they just generate themselves. They are not.
Yeah, they generate themselves. They have nothing to do with the collision of the balls. So as the ball is hitting here, I have on this crown, which is number 2. I told them at frame 32 that the ball hit the ground to start putting the water
So
up.
basically, you're cheating with the creation frame and with the object that it falls. So when the ball it falls at 32. You're just enabling the
exactly
how it works.
Let me close all and let me.
You have the final.
Yeah, let me have the final.
Oh, a lot of.
At least it didn't crash.
Yeah.
This is the final.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, if you manage to make an initial state, you see how the crown reacts. Okay. What is interesting about here, I think not much. The lights are just two lights.
Let's open the Octane.
Let me mess the thing as well.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So let's open. Let's fire Octane.
What's the message? So the message like medium right now. Oh, we're losing.
We're losing all the textures.
Oh, no worries. Okay, let's.
Oh no. Let me see.
Why?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, just relink the textures and here.
If it will find them. Well, it found some. Some are still missing.
Yeah, most of them. That's okay.
I don't know why. The roughness of the road is missing, so that's not representing the render as well. What we have done here, though, is if you see, we have cloned on the basketballs some spheres that
that's interesting to
represent.
To about that.
Just they are not interacting with anything, just a way to show how it's called, to show that the balls are wet. You can also use animated wet maps.
Yeah, it's something like a fake wet map about the ball, basketball.
So let me show you again. Where is that?
Do you have the other video? Right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's here.
No. Yeah. You see also the road was missing before, the roughness and displacement and everything. So that's the final render again. Some bumps here on the road, which I don't have the textures right now. So there are many tutorials on how to make a wet road, so I think.
Yeah, but I don't know, from my side when I was watching the crown, it was always seeming very difficult, but I don't know, it's not that it's very straightforward, pretty easy, but if you play a little bit with the crown, and with having a really nice initial state with your fluid in the floor, it's going to work really, really nicely, okay? And especially how it reacts with any object by cheating that, it's pretty cool, you know, we really like that, okay? And, you know, both in, yeah, that could be a really nice style framing, or it could be almost an animation, okay? I don't know. Just asking someone's asking something that we can...
No,
About the lights, basically.
Yeah, and that one?
In that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's, there's no HDR right here, right?
No, it's just the lights.
Mhm.
Sorry that the render is crappy, because we're missing the textures.
Yeah, no worries. You can turn off and on the lights.
One thing I remember to show about this is that I have this box fog. Okay, so this is an Octane fog, this ugly box with very large number of voxels, just as much to show.
Yeah.
You see in the viewport?
Yeah. Cool.
In order to add a bit of fog around my lights. So if you see.
Yeah. Octane has always an issue with the fog.
We are not happy with
Yeah.
Octane's fog, to be honest, but
it works.
okay, for some scenes like this, it's a nice trick to also make some volumetric lights very, very easy. So let's move on, I think, from this. And move on.
Yep. Oh, yep.
What?
Yeah, another guy says like, if you have talked about substeps and iterations, because he's trying to make the thin poor liquid chocolate, but the result is not good.
We're gonna provide the scenes.
Yeah.
We're gonna provide the scenes so you can.
No, he answered basically if the substep is the answer to this matter.
Yeah, but no, substep is always.
Substeps will constantly change also the look
Yeah.
and feel of the simulation. It's a bit.
It's a bit of strange equation, as I can say, because
Yeah.
you're changing. You have your result with, I don't know, 4,000 particles, and then you change the stop steps, and suddenly your final simulation starts to behave differently. So you have always to play with small values. So if it's like the default, you can go to like 20 from one moment. Okay, it will change definitely your simulation. So you have to play with sub steps, you know, step by step as you're creating your final simulation. Okay, it's not like if you spend 2 hours in creating the best simulation you will see here, and then you play with the sub steps, you will lose like 2 hours for sure. Okay, because it's not. Maybe in the viewport it works, but then with your mesh and everything else, it's not going to work. So always play with the sub steps there. You have to be very sure how it works. Okay. So mostly, to be honest, it's like a trial and error sometimes with these. Okay. Until you are, you know, let's say satisfied with the final result. Okay. So yeah, let's see about that. That's one we really like that.
Oh yeah, this is our next example.
Something different from the crown.
Yeah, it's another client demand always to have, besides the crown, something that bursts.
Oh, it's looping. Here
It's
we go.
looping. The other usual client request is to have a path that the fluid follows and, I don't know, interacts with some fruits or some balls or whatever you do in cinema. You mostly do balls, right?
Yeah, a lot of
a lot of balls.
Sure, and balls, yeah. We're proud.
Okay, so
Yeah,
let's jump a bit on that scene. Pretty quick.
Start well.
So what you see, I have a standard cinema spline.
Yeah, that's cool
Spline,
to discuss about it, how it works with the spline.
And your daemon here for this is the D-spline daemon. All you do is you drag your spline in here, you place an emitter right at the tip of the spline, and the daemon tries to do its best to follow the spline. So it has some parameters. I think it's the radial strength. Yeah, it's a bit the radial strength, which I increased too much. And a key thing to those simulations, I think it's the drag.
Yeah, because I think we were trying to do the same thing.
We were fiddling with this a lot on the spline, but the very moment we added drag in here, the spline started
it looks really
to follow those rings and stuff. Also, you have this. The axial strength means that it goes as a straight line. I'm not sure if I'm explaining it very well, but the radial strength is if your spline is curved, it tries to follow the curve. And the vortex strength is how many times, as you see, this curl the twist of the water here. So as you increase this, let's say 400 for example, you see it's constantly spinning too much, so you have to juggle a bit with those values to find the proper amount.
Yeah, spreading the fluid.
Yeah, I found that having the radial strength higher than any other strength, it works better. Having the radial at a fair low amount, it helps not making too many curls on the fluid and make it look like more art directable. You see right there, this part.
Yeah, it's cool.
And of course, as you see, it's very interactive, again, real time.
Yeah, because the most difficult is, as we were trying also to do that with the X particles, and we were having two problems. The first one, yeah, you can achieve that, but it was not accurate following the spline. And the second one is, maybe at that time we were not able to take that, very organic and watery, behavior and style from the liquid. Yeah, but really nice, and the noise field is very important.
The noise field is very important here too, in order to, make the fluid look a bit more organic. Here's the strength of the noise. Let me overdo it.
Yeah, what we discussed before about the values and how you can go, because here strength, if you change like 5 or 10, it's not going to give you a result that will be understood in the previewing mode. Okay, so it's not.
And in general, as you see, this is pretty art directable. Tony comes and says, I want the fluid to be like this. I want to have, this is the noise scale. The higher you go, the smaller the scale is. So if I put it in 1, I don't know how obvious it is, but I have bigger waves of noise instead of small details. Yeah. As I put it around 3, for example, I start having a lot tinier noise and stuff. So that's pretty much it also about the spline. What I think I have here, I'm using the SHP liquid, which is the most accurate solver in Realflow, in order to achieve better quality of the fluid, because if you start increasing the resolution, you will start having much better results. And another thing I wanted to add here is, I think that the messer, in this type of simulations,
do we have it in that scene or in the final?
On the final, but
okay, yeah, cool.
If you look, it's a bit more forgiving if you are making water, for example. You see those ugly artifacts. Well, these won't bother you much when you make a water type of simulation against chocolate. Chocolate must be very smooth, yogurt must be very smooth. When you make water, this artifact doesn't make, you don't have to go crazy with the smoothing here, because as you see,
it loses also detail.
Yeah, smoothing makes you lose detail, so you have it's the balance we were talking about the particle radius, that you add detail, but it also adds this, you start to see the particles, the lower you go, it won't crash, yeah, you see, it starts to become really ugly at some point, but it has quite a lot of detail. And as I said, this can be forgiving when you're making a water and not a chocolate. In chocolate, it's very, very hard to make a proper mess out of it. Okay.
So let's open the final scene,
yeah,
so we can see the
final scene,
the render and well, materials. I think they are straightforward, but let's open that one. These blinds, fruit, and
yeah.
Yep, cool.
So
seems a little bit heavier than the other ones, but
yeah. some more amount of particles, some fruit spinning, and some collider on the fluids. Pretty straightforward, as
And,
we discussed before.
Again, the same thing. Let's say the fake weight map with the fruits.
A cloner,
Yeah.
on the fruits to make them look tastier. I don't know.
And let's open the emitter so we can see the amount of particles. As you see here, it's like, I don't know,
200,000.
Yeah.
And this amount of particles is pretty enough for this scene. I mean,
yeah, it's cool. It works.
If I open my measure here, you see, even if the fluid surface it's not perfect. Let me hide this just for a moment. As you will see in the render, it is not much of a problem because it's water.
Oh.
And water. No, I'm missing the textures again.
Yeah, but the fruits, I don't know what happened. And the trees, what the fuck?
I closed the trees.
Yeah.
I don't like trees.
I don't know. Let's see if we can relate the textures.
Yeah, let me see.
Why that happened? Give us.
I don't know. In live.
Is there any question, mate?
No.
Cool?
Yes.
Silent?
No. Where's
Silence?
Where's my textures? Anyways.
Yeah, let's
I'm
see
sorry about that.
Just the.
But as you see, this type of fluid is forgiving. Oh, another thing I think, to this simulation is I have some drops in the air that don't interact with anything. Okay. They just add a bit of detail to this.
And depth, sure.
And some trees from Forester, if you're familiar with Forester, that helped me sell the image. Okay.
Yeah, that works. Do you have a forester here? Is there
No, because we don't have Forester on this PC. It's just
okay,
a tree with
okay.
3 instances, place them back and forth.
Yeah, that's another plugin that we love to use called Forester. It's about trees and all these things. It's really crazy, you know. You should check it out.
And the lighting here is just a single HDR, as you see, if it ever updates. Oops. Yeah, it's just a single HDR.
And a light here.
And I have a light here on the side because if you see, if you see this side here, the fluid is kinda
losing in the.
It's kinda lost with the background, so I have a small reflector here to.
There's a question.
Yep.
For measure, what resolution do you mostly use? Low, medium?
It depends.
Do you ever use any higher than medium level?
Mostly like medium to high, or sometimes it depends. But that one, let's open the measure here. You want to open the measure and see that, but it depends. But
here it's medium, for
yeah.
example. But you see, it's enough. I think it's. Oops.
Yeah, you want to go closer? Yeah. So you see the best, it's very dense already. And here it's, if you see here the measure polygon count, it also helps you to understand how heavy is your geometry about the mesh. So fluid particle count, it counts your particles, and then the measure polygon count, it gives you the amount of polygons that you have. Like we're almost 90,000 here, okay?
Not 90,000, almost a million.
Almost a million, yeah.
I think for production around 1 million usually gives you a good result. Sometimes less, but in general not. I think 1 million or above, because I have faced in other simulations flickering with particles. You see those parts here, or this this ugly shit here. Sometimes when you have, let's say, let me build a mess.
And it depends on the camera distance, okay? To be honest, sometimes.
No,
I mean,
of course.
You can cheat that a little bit if you are far away.
But let me hide the trees here. You see, with low, I'm losing all those particles, and this will result in flickering. The mesh will have flickering as it
moves,
as it moves in comparison to this. That the mesher found the particles and meshed them. Of course, Yeah.
Okay, no. Also play with the smooth here to see how it works. I think we didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also playing with the smooth. Let's go a little bit closer. Let's go 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, try to
Yeah.
to have your smooth as low as possible if you can, because you tend to lose detail. It's, as I said, it's always a struggle and it's independent. But I think if the question was about polygons, it's around 1 million polygons, 2 million polygons sometimes for the mesh to be smooth and even.
And thinning, it's like, I don't know, sometimes thinning it gives you the impression of simple choker in After Effects. Yeah.
Simple choker.
Yeah, simple choker, yeah. So it's something like that, if we could tell that, if we could make the make it similar. So thinning, you see, it's like 0.4 again. So yeah, it's decent. As Sano said, about 1 million, about production shots, it's pretty decent in these fluids. Yeah, so it works really cool, and you see about the final result, very simple stuff and materials. And here the water, I think it's almost default, right? It's not.
Yeah, it's a default with a proper index.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Okay, cool. Is there any other scene? I think we have.
I think not. I think we are done.
I think we are done. Is there any?
Done babbling.
Yeah. Is there any other question?
No, no, we haven't installed R20 yet because we are not sure about the plugins.
Yeah, we have a few I don't know, thoughts, and maybe we will try that from next week.
Next week, yeah, because we are very intrigued to start using R20 with the mesher and stuff. You think? I don't know. Maybe we can use mesher to mesh Realflow from there.
Yeah, maybe.
We will try.
We will try. I don't know. Yeah, this is our new website, yetemotion.com, and feel free to visit the site.
Melvin asks if we do a private show.
No. Melvin is watching?
Yes.
Yeah?
He's alive.
He's alive and watching us?
Yes.
Oh, he's seeing some of the works right now. Okay, cool. I don't know. I'm expecting that he will be online for the whole stream. Yeah, so this is our new website. Mostly you will know us before summer as Yale, and right now me, Thanos, and Elias, we are moving as Yeti, along with our friends here, Floating House VFX, and yeah, feel free, as I said before, to watch out our works, and we will try to, I don't know if we will be able to make a live stream again, but feel free to share your thoughts about any kind of...
yeah, we're sorry, I don't know.
No, I think it went well, just for the first time.
I don't know. The information was a bit scattered and we jumped from one thing to another. We don't have very clear examples.
Yeah,
but nothing crashed.
This is how we work. I mean, we're a bit chaotic.
We work with the same
try this, it doesn't work. Okay, try this. It barely works. Okay, keep it.
Yeah, that was the first time. I thought there is no. Even we had the structure. It's not. It needs.
It's a miracle we had the structure.
Yeah, it needs. It needs practice. Even these live streams need practice. I don't know. Thank you all. Thanks to all that were here with us. Stay tuned, and don't hesitate to send us any feedback or any other thoughts that you have. Okay. Yeah. Thank you all, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.